So if you're like me, you're probably excited because today we have seen silver hit over $38 an ounce for the first time in over 13 years. In fact, as I'm recording this video, and I'm sure you guys know this if you're watching, it is sitting at $38.55, and it has been going up very quickly. Maybe not quite as quickly as 2011 or 1980, but very quickly. Let me show you what I mean. Take a look at this chart right here on SD Bullion's website. You can see that it is trading right now for $38.54. That is up 3.74%, $1.38 just today alone. And if we look at it on just a 3-month timeline, you can see a month ago, or 3 months ago today, $32.29. So we are up over $6 an ounce. I think that's $6.25 if I'm doing the math in my head correctly, in just 3 months' time. So yeah, to say I'm excited is probably an understatement. I'm really excited. I love seeing silver go up like this, even though I do acknowledge, and I've said before, that if you're someone out there that's wanting to add more silver to your stack, this might actually be kind of sad for you because now you have to pay more money to get your silver. But let's be real. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about not just excitement from me, but excitement in the market in general. I was actually on the phone with a couple of different bullion dealers today who said they have seen over this last week an increase in the people that are interested in actually buying silver. And while I think that's great, I do wonder why those people weren't interested in buying silver when it was in, say, the high teens, less than 10 years ago, late 20 teens. We had silver trading for $16, $17, $18 an ounce. So, now that you're getting excited about it at 38, that's great. It's never too late to get into silver, in my opinion, but it would have been a much better time just then. But I think what we're seeing here is, while I know that some people are cashing out, I just talked the other day on this channel, so I'm not going to try and contradict myself here. I do acknowledge and know that some people are taking advantage of this opportunity to sell some silver that maybe they bought in 2011, or who knows, maybe, although unlikely, someone's still sitting on silver all the way back from 1980. But there are people that are taking this opportunity to sell the silver that they had, bought. Maybe it was in 2023 when the premiums were high. Maybe it was in 2011 when spot price was high, but they're taking advantage of this opportunity to sell some of that silver. And think about it. Even if you bought rounds in 2023, spot was 25, rounds like Buffalo rounds were +6. That would mean that even today, even if you get $1.50 back a spot from your coin shop, you're still going to be getting around $37 per ounce. Back then, 25 plus 6 is 31, meaning that you are still going to be getting around $6 more than you bought them for just a couple of years ago. So there are a lot of people taking an opportunity to take their profit, to get out of silver that maybe they aren't as interested in as they were a couple of years ago when they were worried about the banking scares. But according to the bullion dealer who I was just on the phone with, who we are going to be calling in today's video, there are also a lot of people that are starting to get really excited about it. And I think that might be because some people, more people, not all people, more people, some more people, I don't know, are starting to wake up to the fact that this thing right here is just continuing to go down in value. You can buy less stuff with this than you could not long ago. We are $37 trillion in debt. We have a deficit north of $2 trillion. What does that mean? That means that every single year, we are going $2 trillion more into debt. Every single year. That's what that deficit means. They are spending over $2 trillion more than they're taking in. And I think some people are starting to wake up and realize that you are not going to always be able to depend on this. Yes, the dollar is important. You needed to pay your bills. You needed to put food on your table. You needed to put gas in your tank. I've said this before. I apologize if I'm repeating myself. But I think people are starting to realize that they're starting to wake up to the fact that you need so many more of these to get that same food, to get that same gas, to buy a new house than you did not long ago. That's just not even 10 years ago. If you think about when, housing, we talked about just the other day how the housing index is double what it was not long ago. In fact, even back in 2011, 2012, last time silver rode up to 50, right? It's different now. And I've said that before, but people are starting to get excited about it. People are starting to wake up, and there are starting to be people in the market that are getting excited about silver, and they see silver going up and they're like, you know what? I know I'm late. I know I should have bought it when it was 19 or 20 or when it was 17 or even when it was like 22 and the premiums were a little bit higher. I didn't want to buy it because of the premiums. I acknowledge that. I didn't like premiums back then either, but people are starting to wake up to the fact that they need to do something. And if they don't like Bitcoin and they think gold is too expensive, man, silver looks like a great freaking option right now, does it not? So guys, we're going to make a call really quick. I'm not going to get anyone on video because I'm still recovering from a sunburn. I'm peeling. I don't look the best. Those title cards that you see, those thumbnails with my face on them, and it doesn't look like I'm peeling, that's because I'm good at Photoshop. So let's get Keith from the Coin Crow on the phone. We're going to talk to him about what's going on in his store, because he told me not long ago, I was just talking to him, that people are getting excited about buying silver in his shop again. So let's find out what's going on and get him on the phone right now.
Coin Zone, this is Keith. May I help you?
Hey, Keith, it's Silver Seeker, just calling you back. Like I said, guys, Keith, as you know, has been on the channel many times and has told me on the phone not long ago that he's actually seen an increase in people coming in to buy silver because of the spike today. Keith, what's going on in your shop?
Man, it is crazy. We are selling so much silver, so much more than we're buying. It's unreal.
Seriously. And I was just talking to you about that, and you had said that to me as well, which is why I'm making this video. That's great to hear. My question is, and I know you don't ask your customers why they're buying or selling, but has anyone offered the information? Have they said why they're coming in and buying it now that it's 38 instead of earlier?
Well, we did have a guy come in earlier today. He spent a few $1,000s. He bought some platinum and some mercury dimes, and he was talking about platinum and silver both. He wants to get it now before it goes up higher.
So they see it going up and they wait till it's 38 and they're like, now they see that, all right, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the time to buy.
I think what is on people's minds is 38 the breaker point? Is this the let silver just run through the sky or something? I don't know. But yeah, I think a lot of people, 38 was a psychological barrier.
That's interesting because 38 didn't really mean much to me, thinking about it. Looking at it today, it seems great, but, it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait till it gets to 38. Like every time you see something like that, you think, all right, 35, 40, 45, 50. You don't think 38, you know what I mean?
Well, when you stop and look at 38 barrier, it doesn't mean nothing until you add the premium on for a retail premium, and that's going to put you anywhere from $39 to $40.50. So, in a sense, a 38 actually kind of, in a sense, will feel like it broke 40 because that's what most of the average is going to have to pay.
All right, that makes sense. And, just so you guys know watching this, Keith isn't the only dealer I've spoken to today. I've been on the phone with 3 different dealers who have all said, including Mike from Mid-America Coins, says there's been a lot of people calling about buying silver all of a sudden. Keith, this is a major shift from what we've been seeing, though, right? Because for a long time, we've been seeing more people sell silver than buy silver.
Yeah, we have had a lot of sellers come in lately, and it's just a good shift. And I think if the momentum could keep going, I think we could hit that $50 silver mark. But there could be a problem when we get there.
So what do you mean by that? Like, what happens when we hit 50? I had said in another video recently what I thought. I don't think you've watched that video. I want to hear your opinion. Go ahead.
Well, my opinion is this, and it's just my opinion. As you know, I'm just a guy, but here we go. Basically, here's what I see happening. We've seen silver break 50 in 1980. We've seen it break 50 in 2011. Well, along the years, you have got new people got into silver, and it's just like the stock market. You have these whales that will come in when a company goes really cheap. They'll come in and buy up the stock. Well, in the silver market, there's whales too. So what I feel is going to happen is just this. Silver's going to hit that 50, and there's going to be people who have got in it long time ago, anywhere from $3 to $20 per ounce. They're going to dump everything they have. And what I'm afraid could possibly happen is if silver gets to that 50, these guys are going to sell it all, and they're going to make silver, just plummet down. And if it drops 15% or 20% off that high, guess what? Here come the whales. They're going to come and buy all that silver up. And those guys that sold it at that 50, they're going to wish they hadn't because it's going to go so much higher than that.
So here's my question. Are you talking about people holding paper silver from 3 to 20?
No. I'm talking about paper silver is what affects most of the price you see on the internet. But I'm talking about physical silver. If whales come in and start buying up the physical silver, it will affect that paper price. They say it won't, but you know what? If I have company A and you have company B and we both need silver, we're both going to bid on that physical silver to keep our production happening.
Interesting.
And that will also force up the paper market.
Okay, so what you're saying is even though, and I've said this on the channel before, what me and you do, buying and selling at a coin shop really isn't affecting spot price. You're saying...
No, it doesn't.
But you're saying these guys have so much silver that even physical silver, retail silver, because they have so much and will be buying so much, will make a difference? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is if you get somebody with, I don't know, can I say it? Can I throw a name of a rich guy out there? You get somebody like Elon Musk that says, I want to buy silver. If he comes in, or anybody with anything more than $1 billion comes in and decides, let's buy up the physical, it will eventually trickle over into that paper market, which is, I don't know, 300 times the actual physical. And that's why the physical market doesn't affect what you see online.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. I never heard it put that way. So, well, we will have to see what happens. I think it's exciting, and I want to hear your opinion. I'll let you go, that people are getting excited and interested in silver. But, also, I wish they would have taken advantage when it was like $18 an ounce. You know what I mean? So
I wish I would have bought more at 18, but I think we are on the cusp of something happening. But what's happening, we don't know. We can only guess.
We can
look at all the charts you want.
Agreed. We can only guess, but we never actually know. So, Keith, thank you for joining us, guys. Keith has his own coin shop, obviously, called The Coin Zone, and his own YouTube channel called Coin Crew. I'll put a link for that down in the description below. Keith, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Well, that was Keith from the Coin Crew. And while I don't necessarily agree with everything that he said, he does make a valid point about a large retail investor, like let's say somebody with $1 billion, actually having an effect on spot price. Even though the transactions that you and I make, say we go to SC Bullion's website and spend $1,000 on silver, is not going to affect spot at all. But as far as the excitement of people coming in and getting excited about silver and buying it at over 38, he's not the only dealer I've spoken to today that said that. I've talked to 3 dealers, one who who tells me specifically not to share his name on the channel, and the other one was Mike from Mid-America Coins, who said the same thing. He said he's had a lot of people calling and a lot of business people buying silver right now. So there is excitement around the silver market with it going up almost $40 an ounce. Maybe approaching $40 an ounce is that tilting point, and people are thinking, man, I better get in before it goes over 40. So that could be it. And another thing I'll say, and I've just thought about here, is, I said in my video the other day when I said there are going to be people taking profits, there are going to be people that are selling silver that they bought when it was more expensive. Well, those people don't have infinite silver. Eventually, they're going to run out of silver that they bought, when spot price was higher. Eventually, they're going to run out of silver that they are taking profits from. And at that point, it's going to shift back to where there's more retail demand than there are sellers. So we'll have to see what happens going on here, but I'm going to let it go because I know this video is a little long at this point. I would love to know your opinion, so do me a favor and make sure you leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. And also, guys, if you've watched this far in the video, you are one of only 50% of my viewers that watch my videos all the way through. So thank you for doing that, and make sure you are subscribed because it looks like you enjoyed the content, and I would love for you to be notified about my future videos. All right, well, that's it. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.